Think about the desk you are sitting at right now. Think about the massive, heavy computer towers we have been forced to build, buy, and maintain for the past 3 decades just to get real professional work done. We were told a simple, undisputed rule of computing. If you want elite performance, if you want to render complex 3D graphics, edit heavy uncompressed video files, or train complex artificial intelligence networks, you need a giant, power-hungry box filled with noisy fans, thick cables, and thousands of dollars of glowing hardware. But behind the scenes, Apple has been quietly waging a war on physical size. They have been obsessed with a singular, radical goal: shrinking the power of a Hollywood production studio down into something so incredibly small it can sit hidden beneath a stack of books. That brings us to right now, and the arrival of a machine that completely obliterates the traditional laws of desktop computing. This is the ultimate, unfiltered truth about the Apple Mac Mini M5. This is not your typical tech review loaded with dry synthetic benchmarks and corporate marketing slides meant to put you to sleep. Today, we are breaking down the terrifying, dense power of the brand new M5 silicon architecture, the hidden reality of how Apple leverages microscopic unified memory to choke out dedicated graphics cards, the psychological trap of their pricing strategy, and the unsettling truth about why this tiny silver slab is secretly the most dangerous device Apple has ever built for the rest of the computing industry. If you think you need a massive desktop PC to run your business, your creative workflow, or your coding pipeline, you need to listen very carefully to what we are about to uncover, because your perspective on desktop power is about to change permanently. Let's dismantle the illusion of computer hardware right from the start. For years, the tech industry has trained us to look at individual components. We buy a processor from one company, a graphics card from another, RAM from a third manufacturer, and we plug them all into a massive motherboard. We look at the numbers on the boxes and assume that bigger always means faster. But this fragmented approach has a massive, hidden flaw: communication lag. Every single time your processor needs to send data to your graphics card or pull a file from your system memory, that data has to travel across physical wires and traces on a motherboard. In the microscopic timeline of modern computing, those few inches of travel are an absolute eternity. It creates heat, it wastes massive amounts of electricity, and it creates a massive structural bottleneck that limits true efficiency. The Mac Mini M5 completely eliminates this physical distance through the sheer engineering genius of a system on a chip. Apple didn't just build a processor. They took the CPU, the massive graphics core, the lightning-fast neural engine, and the system memory, and baked them all onto a single microscopic sliver of silicon built on a cutting-edge, bleeding-edge manufacturing process. Because everything sits on the exact same die, the communication distance is effectively zero. The data doesn't travel across a motherboard. It moves across the chip at speeds that defy conventional computing logic. This is backed by Apple's hyper-optimized unified memory architecture. In a standard PC, your graphics card has its own dedicated memory, and your system has its own separate RAM. If you are rendering a video, the computer has to constantly copy data back and forth between those two separate pools of memory, wasting precious processing cycles. With the M5 chip, the CPU and the